Today, I'm starting with the production function. I hope you can see my screen and my voice is audible to you. Am I audible and visible on screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let us continue. So today I'll continue with the production function. Earlier in the last session, we have done with the consumer behavior. In the consumer behavior session, we have tried to understand the perspective of consumer. That is why a consumer will buy my product. Now we have understood that a consumer will definitely buy my product if he has got utility of that product. Now, till what stage a consumer will buy my product? All these things we have learned in the consumer behavior, right? This thing we have understood that a consumer will buy at this stage, till this price he will buy. This we have understood the consumer's perception about my product. The more value he will get from my product, the more he will be willing to buy my product. Fine. So we have understood about the consumer's perception. After understanding the consumer perception, we as a manufacturer, what is the next stage we will think? We understood that a consumer will buy my product at this price. He is willing to get this additional functions in the product. These are things we have understood. So now what will be the, as a manufacturer, you tell me what will you think? As a manufacturer, what is your second stage of planning or thinking? Just think what can be the next stage?
Production.
Production.
Producing more product in less time.
Yes, producing more product in less time. So we have understood in economics that in the last session we have discussed about the consumer. We have understood the consumer's perspective. Now, as a producer, I have to think as a producer. So, what is producer's intention? What is producer's perspective? This is the thing we have to understand now. So, that is why we are studying this chapter, which is production function. Now, simply as a manufacturer, what do we need in a production? If I have to produce something as a manufacturer, you have to manufacture. So, what are the things we all need? As a manufacturer or as a producer, the things which we will require is land, labor, capital, and organization. These are the four basic input which we need in order to produce or manufacture. The conversion will actually take place with this input itself, right? We have this input in place and then only we will go with the conversion. Even if I'm providing a service as a service provider also, we need time. We have our time, we have our knowledge, skills, attitude, and definitely the efforts is needed. So either I'm a service provider or I'm a manufacturer, I have to give some input. Without input, nothing, no processing can be done. So the basic thing is my input. So as a manufacturer, I thought that these are my input. If I suppose, let's say I'm planning for a kurti manufacturing, kurti, the ladies garment. So now for that, what are the basic raw material I will need? The first is the land, definitely the space where I'm going to set up my business. That is my manufacturing, my factories and everything will take place. Second thing would be my labor, the labor, the employees, the staff I'm talking about. Then the material, the raw materials is needed. What is my material? Here in case of manufacturing of garments, ladies garment as I told, I would definitely need the more of raw material. The raw material would be cotton, and apart from cotton there can be some other associated material as well. So these are my land labor and material has come, capital, and then land, labor, capital, and organization. So we understood land portion, labor portion, capital, and the organization portion. There is someone to organize all those things. So these are the basic thing which we needed, right? This is the basic thing which I need for production. Now in production function, today we will be understanding that what should be my quantity of production, what should be my methods of production, the techniques of production. These are few things we are going to learn, because if I am manufacturing, I am producing, whether I am doing it for a short term range or for a long term range, fine. My production activities can, I may start a manufacturing firm for short term or for a long term. So it all depends These are the techniques we are going to learn here in the production function. So basically, what is production function? Sorry, the production function can be simply defined as the transformation of input into output. That is production function. So it is a function of, we normally say production is a function of input. So if we have to write this, we will write this in this term. Let's say normally we define production function this way. Q is a function of K, L and etc. This way. That means my quantity, my output, this is my output. This is a production function. Actually, what is production function? It simply states a relationship between the quantity, that is the output, and the input. We all know that more the input I will give, the more is the output I'll generate. The more input I will provide, the more is the output. The better the input I'll provide, the quality material I'll provide, the better is the output. This is the basic economics which everyone is aware of. The way you give your input, that type of output you are going to generate. Fine. Same thing you will generate. But this is the basic thing which is stated by the production function. So production function quantifies. This production function is a function. It all, or rather I can say it is just a simplified relationship between the output and the input. So this is the output. Q is actually defined as the quantity of output. How much output I have produced with the given amount of input. This is called production function. Simply production function states a relationship. So it quantifies the relationship of input and output of a product. So normally there's a transformation. We all know that there's an input and then a transformation take place and then we get the output. Inputs are essential elements in the process of production, right? We all know that inputs are required. What are inputs? Land, labor, capital and organization. We have understood this. So now let us move to the book. So what is a production function? As I told, that production function is the normal relationship. It quantifies the relationship which shows the overall output generated at a given level of input. Now with the technology and manpower available is definitely constant. We have to understand that whenever we are representing a relationship, that Q is a function of KL. At that point there has to be some constancy is there. In economics we always deal with the assumption that this is constant, because everything cannot be variable. If everything is variable, then we don't have to deal with the production function, right? So if there's a production function or any economic function we are talking about, then the other variable, like we earlier did with the demand function. In the demand function or the demand law of demand, that time also I told you that law of demand states there is an inverse relationship between price and demand of a product, keeping other things constant. That means I have to keep other factors as constant. Same here also, if I am stating a relationship between the output and the input, then the other factors, that is the technology, the manpower and other factors, has to be kept as constant. Now, concept of product. Suppose I am producing. If I am a manufacturer, I am producing. Now, there are three concepts of product. One is the total product. What is total product? Total product simply says about the total production with suppose with using 1 kg of, suppose let's say I have used 1 kg of potato. With 1 kg of potato, I prepared maybe means 100 pieces of chips or 100 pieces of papad. With 1 kg of papad, 1 kg of potato, I prepared 100 pieces of papad. Now with next 2 kg means with the total 2 kg of input, 2 kg of potato, maybe I prepared 220 papas. So what is the total increase in the product? Total papad is my total input and my total output. So total means the totality. When we are talking about total, it refers to total production at that particular moment. So I have given my all factors, means all input factors, and I get a total product. I'll be giving you all sort of kitchen examples because this is my favorite. I'm a good cook actually. So total product, it simply means that the total production we are talking about. Fine. Now, average product, we all know what is average product. Average simply the total product that is divided by number of units of a factor employed. Let's say I have used 10 laborers. 10 laborers for producing 1000 pieces of papad. Then the average product per labor would be definitely 1000 divided by 10 is equals to 100. So average, this is just normal what we do with an average. So average product is divided, the total product divided by the number of units employed, means maybe it is number of units of labor, number of units of capital employed, it can be of anything. Now we are talking about the marginal product. Marginal, as we all know, that marginal is just the change in unit. Change in unit or the extra unit added into the production. Like earlier I have produced 100 pieces of papad. The next level of production goes to 150 level of papad. So the extra is by 50. So 50 would be my marginal product. Fine. So normally marginal product we refer to the change. Change is my marginal product. There are three concepts that can be understood through a schedule. Total product, like I used 1 unit of labor, my total product is in kgs. So I have prepared maybe 100 kgs of papad. So with 1 unit of labor, I prepared 100 kgs of papad. My marginal product is 100 and my average is also 100. With 2 unit of labor, I got total product is 220. Marginal product is 120 and average product is 110. Is this clear? Marginal and average product is clear to you?
Again, explain marginal product again.
Marginal product is simply the additional unit. See, from 100 to 220, what is the difference? Just the successive unit. 220 minus 100 is 120.
Okay, got it.
Then again 360 minus 220 is 140. So marginal is the extra last unit, means last unit minus the earlier one, just that one. This is called marginal. Now the 3 stages of production. Now when one factor of production is varied, another factor is kept constant. The production process can be divided into 3 stages. See, normally this 3 stages is used in case of short-term production. Right? There are 2 time period. One is called short-term period or another is called long-term period in production function. So here, as I'm referring to your book, I'm discussing the when one factor of production is varied and other factor is kept as constant. Then at that stage, suppose, let's say for an example, in a short-term period of time, I have started my business, right? So initially I have started my business. I have used all my resources. So at the beginning, let's say I don't have any clients. I don't have any number of clients, means 0. So once I have started with a 0 number of client, you can easily understand at that point when I have only 0 client, that point of time also I have lots of expenses because I have initially invested a lot, and along with that I have my other expenditures as well, right? So at point of 0 clients, my expenses are very high, whereas my production is nil. But when I introduce only one client is being introduced, my cost, now my revenue started increasing. Now my revenue will start increasing. Here, see, one factor is kept as constant, another factor is variable. Kindly keep this in mind. This is referred for short-term production. Now here, in case I am starting with the 0 at that point 0, I have lots of expenses. But see, you started a restaurant. You started a restaurant, you did advertisement, your branding, your capital investment in the business, everything has been done. There's no clients at all. Now you started. You are getting 1 client, then you are getting 2 clients. Once the client is getting increased, you are now at that point you are increasing your revenue. More and more client is coming, more and more your revenue is increasing. Now my capacity for my restaurant is only 20. Fine. For my restaurant it is 20 visitors can sit in my restaurant. Now if more than 20 started coming to my restaurant, within that short period of time, as I told that one factor of production is varied and other factors kept constant. That means if I take my restaurant space to be constant, my restaurant space and the chair table, this is kept constant, and my variables are only the amount of food that I can cater to. I may cater more food, but I cannot arrange more space for visitors to sit. And all the means I have to assume that all the visitors who are coming to my restaurant, they are all who will sit and have their dinner or lunch, whatever, at my place, at my restaurant. So there's no one to take away. This is my assumption in the example. So now people who are coming at my restaurant, 20 people, this is my optimum level, because my optimum level will keeping one factor as constant and another factor is variable. Definitely at the optimum level, I have reached to a very high level of this optimum of revenue. Maximum revenue with that more and more of clients, more of business economics. Production per unit cost is being decreased because more and more people are coming. Let's say how it is done. See, efficiency is only achieved because I am cooking one roti. Let's say I am preparing one naan. For one naan also, I have to start up the whole entire cooking burner and everything and get the thing hot, and for that also the entire electricity and other things are being used. And if I cook 10 naans in the same thing, so economies of scale can only be achieved when there's a number of, at least the optimum number of material are to be cooked there. So here, once I am reaching to the 20 number of consumers, that is my optimum capacity of that restaurant, my revenue is at the highest level and my costing is at the lowest level. Fine. But here, what about after reaching to my optimum level? After reaching to my optimum level, if I keep on adding more and more visitors, let's say I'm asking more and more visitors to come and just wait, then what will happen? The visitors will they will be very dissatisfied with the quality of the service, and now the people will start going out. Because with keeping one factor as constant and one factor as variable, I cannot add more and more into that same. If I want more visitors, I want 25 or 30 visitors to come and sit at my place and I would like to serve them, then definitely I have to increase not only my serving meals item, but also my space. My space has to be enhanced. My labor my staff has to be enhanced, increased to that extent. So every factor has to be variable, right? Because in short term, see, this stages, the 3 stages of production is for short term only. Now let's say the first stage is called the first stage here is called the stage of increasing return. Now why it is called stage of increasing return? See, in this stage, this is called the stage of increasing return. This stage, why it is called stage of increasing return? Because here my total production is increasing, my average production is increasing, and even my marginal product is increasing. Now how it is happening? See, increasing returns means I am investing 100 rupees and I am getting in return more than 100. Maybe I am getting a return of 200. Why it is happening? Because initially my entire facility was not used. At zero client, my expenses was at the highest. At that time, when even one customer came, he gave a highest return. When one customer came also, the return he used to give me, that was very high in comparison to my input. I'm giving some input, let's say I'm using 100 rupees and I'm getting a return of maybe 200, because that time my entire facility was not at all used. So the returns at that time is called increasing return, right? In this stage, MP increasing at fast and then decreases. At this point of time, my marginal product is increasing a lot, because from one consumer to second consumer, maybe on the first day you served only one consumer. That time your total income is maybe 20 rupees or 120 rupees. Next day it can be 4 consumers. That day your marginal product will increase to a large extent. This stage is called increasing returns. That is why, because from we are starting from zero. At zero level there is no returns, nothing. So once I started using my factors of production, or I started using my facilities, the return will be very fast in comparison to means anything else, in comparison to the utilization. Then in the second stage, which is called the stage of diminishing return, at that stage, in the second stage, once we reach to a second stage, here in this stage, the stage is diminishing return, because I'm not getting that much amount of return. The return is not very high, though the consumers are coming. Here the consumers, maybe it has reached to 15, in between 15 to 20. My capacity of my restaurant is 15 to 20. So I have reached to this level between 15 to 20. And so here my returns is becoming diminishing. It is going down. It is not going up. Why it is not going up? Because I have already reached to an extreme level. I've already satisfied my entire expenses has been used and everything has been done. So here I'm not getting that much return. That means maybe I'm using 100 rupees. Means that time I used to get 200 as return. My return was 200. Say you can take this, the constant return and everything this way. Suppose I'm using input of 100 rupees and I'm getting a return of 200. This is called the stage of increasing return. Next time when I'm using 100 rupees and I'm getting only the return of 100. Fine. This is called constant return. Fine. Here also, let's say I'm using 100 rupees and I'm getting a return of maybe 180. This stage is called diminishing return because at this stage from 200 to it's declined to 180. Now, if I'm using 100 and I'm getting 80, this is called negative return. This stage is called negative returns. This stage I'm investing more and I'm getting less. Fine. Is this clear? The stages of production. So last is, according to John Robinson, the law of diminishing return as it usually formulated state that with a fixed amount of any factor of production, successive increase in the amounts of other factor will after a point yield diminishing increments of output. Because my facility, my restaurant facility is limited. See, my restaurant facility is limited. Now I'm adding more and more of factors of production. Maybe I'm adding more labor, I'm adding more mills, but still I cannot, the successive increase in output is not actually yielding more output. Fine. In the stage 3. Stage 3, you will get negative return. As I earlier told that if I'm reaching to the negative return, that time quality is falling, and now definitely the quality factor will have a negative impact. Fine. Entrepreneurs do not prefer to operate within stage 1 and stage 3. In stage 1, the entrepreneur will increase his employment. See, normally entrepreneurs, what they do, they do not prefer to operate in stage 1 as well as in stage 3. Stage 1 because it is increasing return, so they would like to employ more. See, if I am getting more return, my consumers are coming, I am enjoying, means my more revenue is coming. Definitely I would like to increase more of it. And in stage 2, I have got the optimum level. Now it started with the diminishing return. In the stage 3, nobody would like to go because it is the negative return. Maybe in stage 2 it is falling, but still I'm going to reach to the optimum level. Stage 2 is the suitable stage for entrepreneur to operate. AP and MP are falling, but TP has not yet reached the maximum point. Means total product at this stage has not yet reached the maximum point. So it makes sense for the entrepreneur to operate in this stage. Therefore, the entrepreneur will enjoy the variable factor in such a way that the fixed factor is fully utilized while the amount of variable factor is not excessive and unnecessary. Fine. See, is this clear to everyone? If not clear, kindly go through the 3 stages of production, because until you go further, I could not go ahead.